I welcome all the attendees and GP sir and I would like to welcome you on behalf of Career Launcher to this session. The session is, of course, 30 days to CAT. So, GP sir, your starting words before we go on.
Uh, yeah, actually, I think there's a session which will leave it to the students to ask questions and let us try to address those issues. I am sure you have already collected quite a few questions. So let's get on straight with the task and focus on what the confusion is for the students.
Absolutely, sir. So, let's start with the questions that we've collected, and in the meantime, we'll get more questions also. So, sir, I'll start with the first question, which is how many mocks should a student give? Now, this is the confusion at this stage because we have 30 days to go, and some students end up giving too many tests. Some students end up giving too fewer tests.
Right.
So what is the right number, and how do we plan? So that's the
Mhm.
first one.
See, when we look at the number of mocks, frankly, I have always been very consistent about this part that the purpose of mock is learning. And the purpose of mock is to understand where am I going wrong and where am I going right. So when you take a mock, it gives you areas to work on. So which means every time you take a mock, you have to analyze it in detail, you have to understand where you're going wrong and start working on those areas to improve on those areas. So which obviously means if you take a mock today, you take a mock tomorrow and day after tomorrow, then you don't have a time to improve. Because learning does not happen while taking the paper. Learning or improvement happens outside the paper and you implement it inside the paper. So which is why the number of mocks to me, typically not more than 3 mocks a week. Ideally 2 mocks a week is good enough. So if I say you take 1 mock today, do a thorough analysis, next couple of days work on your weak areas, and that could be through revision, that could be through old CAT papers, could be through your old CDCs, and then you take another mock after 3 days. Okay? So Monday you take a mock, the next mock should be Thursday, ideally. In the worst case, you can take a Monday mock, a Wednesday mock, a Friday mock. Alternate day could be the worst case scenario, but anything beyond that is going to be a complete waste of time.
So would it be a good thing to say that minimum 2 and maximum 3 tests a week and
Yeah,
not anymore?
absolutely. I think 1 in 3 days is good enough. Worst case, one is once in 2 days.
Sure. So, sir, I would also like to share something that we have been doing. At CL, what is been planned is
Right.
the upcoming tests. That is 3 CDCs are pending, countdown cats, and 2 prime mocks are pending. And I'm sure a lot of students of Career Launcher would have some more prime mocks remaining at their end. So basically, according to what sir gave as an idea, right? These are the dates. Even if you follow this much for now, it is still good enough, right? And to add to this, I want to add that we have broken down these last 2 3 prime mocks 11 to 15 into sectionals. So some of the mocks that you have missed out, you can take them as sectionals also if you want to make your test your sectional strength, or work on the strategies and stuff like that. So you can mix and match these strategies and use the mocks accordingly. So I think that's a great way to go about it. Right. So, okay. So, let's move on to the second question that is the most common one which has been asked is how do I plan my daily schedule for the next 30 days?
No, why should my daily schedule for the next 30 days be different from what I was doing last 1 week or 10 days? It is not that that in the last 1 week, 10 days, you were doing completely different things and now you have to just change your way of working. No. By and large, in the last couple of months, or let's say paper is end of November, by and large, for most of the students, by end August, end September, worst case, your syllabus, etc., would have been over. And by and large, what you would have been doing for the last 1 week or last 2 weeks or last 4 weeks would be taking mocks regularly, revising a lot, and working on your weak areas. By and large, that is what you need to do going forward also. The only difference I would say is your schedule should be such that you are in touch with everything. You are taking your mocks regularly, as I said, once in 3 days, and you are revising a lot. Now, my worry most of the time is out of the things which you have written, mock attempt, sectional attempt, mock analysis, practice, revise all questions, skim through important questions. People will do practically everything except revising all questions.
Yes.
If you don't revise, there's no way you're going to improve on your accuracy. If you don't revise, you will not improve on your speed. And this is especially true for quant and DILR. Okay, so when I'm looking at this schedule, I'm saying, why and large, what you are doing, you don't need to change your schedule significantly. Just continue the same process with an extra focus. If it is required, it has to be to revising. And when I say revise, you don't revise everything under the sun. If you look at quant, there are three kinds of questions. Questions which you don't understand at all, just forget about them. कोई फायदा नहीं है उनका. Questions which you are able to solve easily, great. You don't need to do anything about them. It is the remaining question, the one in the middle. Some of these questions you can do, but you get confused. Some of these questions you take a little extra time to solve. If you start revising these questions regularly, you will find that not only is your accuracy improving, you're also improving in your speed. Okay, and same thing for DILR also. Don't worry about those DILR sets which are extremely difficult. Don't worry about the DILR sets which are extremely easy. The difficult ones you will not attempt in any case in the paper. The easy ones you will solve without any problem. The ones which are confusing, the ones which create some bit of a problem, the ones whose logic you understand but not fully, they are the sets you have to revise. And I'll again repeat, revision means solving all over again, putting a pen on paper, making a table, making all the cases if required. It is not just looking at the data set, "Cha, kar liya ye." Nahin, that is a waste of time. So as long as you stick to your schedule, whatever it is, so that there's adequate amount of revision. Okay. Now, again, for me, the first and foremost thing would be, especially if you have not done the old CAT papers, is please make sure you do all the old CAT papers from 17 to 22 for all the three areas: quant, DILR, and English. Once you have done 70 to 22 for quant, you can start from CAT 1990, go up to 2000 or 1999. Okay. 1990 to 1999 also you can do for quant, because the kind of questions we get now, 17 to 22, are similar to what we used to get in CAT 90 to 99. Okay. For DILR, once you have done your CAT papers of 17 to 22, you can start from 2000 to 2008. Don't do the pre-2000 papers, because they were DI heavy, and those kind of data sets we don't get. They were direct DILR, DI sets where calculation was the focus. Now calculation is not the focus, which is why 90 to 99 DILR section is not relevant for you now. Okay, so this is what you need to look at. Apart from this, old CDCs, whichever you have done, old prime cats, and don't differentiate between CDCs and prime cats. Both are the same thing, both are the same level. There's no difference between the two of them. Okay. And so I would say, if I have to still give a schedule, because I'm sure some students will still want a schedule, one mock every 3 days, as I said. Okay. The day you do the paper, the mock, obviously you have to do the thorough analysis of that. 1 day a week for revision of all questions of quant, 1 day a week for all questions of DILR revision. Okay. As far as English is concerned, every day you should look at one section test or one topic. One section test is what you need to do on a regular basis. Okay. And apart from that, if you have more time with you, you can definitely look at, okay, that's just going through the other MCQs from the rest of the study material which you have.
So, GP, there is one question that one student has asked: why one mock in 2 days is a bad idea? And I think you've answered it, because analysis is important. And after analyzing, it is important to revisit the topics which you felt were your strengths and you couldn't do them in the test, or revisit the weaknesses also, maybe, right?
Right.
And practice them. So, I would like to add to whatever you have said, 2 points here. One is the equitable distribution of subject areas, which you talked about earlier, right? That's very important, because some students end up at this stage working only on their weaknesses or only
Right.
on their strengths. Both of these are bad idea, right? In my opinion, because again, if you have a strength or a weakness where you're working, then your strength will also sort of go down. It will not stay as a strength, so you have to hold on to it. So basically आपको दोनों balance करके चलना है, right? That is
हाँ, इसमें
exactly
इसमें
मैं balance
इसमें
करने
ना
में.
मेरा एक खाली इसमें डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन है.
Yeah,
You don't have to look at things which you don't understand at all. जो
absolutely.
बिकॉज एंड ऑफ द डे जो पिछले 6 महीने साल की प्रिपरेशन में समझ नहीं आया है, अगले 15 दिन में भी नहीं आएगा. So you need to be very clear. There are things which you don't know, which you don't understand. Your understanding will certainly not change in the last 15, 20, 30 days. It will not happen. So, which is why I said, when I said DILR, the sets which you don't understand, forget about them. Focus on what there's a scope of improvement, which are the medium level sets, which are the ones you get confusion. Same thing for quant also. Okay. So please Remember, you need to now focus on saying, Jo aata hai, what I know, I should know it so well that I will never make a mistake. What I don't know, I'll forget about it completely. And the medium ones, which is what I'll keep working on. And some of those things, by the time I hit CAD, will become so good that I'll not make a mistake there. So what you know, keep on doing it so many times that you will not make a mistake at all in those areas.
Right. And one more thing that about daily schedule to be mentioned is, of course, on 7th of November you will be getting your admit cards. You'll come to know which slot you're appearing for. It is definitely important to include that as a part of the daily schedule. For example, simple things like sleep, eat, water intake, or whatever, right, it has to be part of your daily schedule, in my opinion. As of now, you should be going across all slots. So today you should be doing an 8:30 test, a 12:30 test, and a 4:30 test, trying it out till 7th of November, जो भी कर पाओ, right? Because just to elaborate, for a minute on this one, there is a time, for example 12:30 slot में अगर मैं खा के जाऊं, if I'm heavy, I've eaten a lot, I'll feel sleepy, and if I'm not eaten, I'll feel hungry. So both is a bad idea. You have to start planning your daily body clock from as early as possible. So exactly that. The people who don't wake up in the morning early, who are night owls, right, cannot wake up and reach at 8:30 for the test. For an 8:30 test, you'll have to reach before 7:30, and so on and so forth. So you need to be able to wake up at 6 o'clock, get ready, and go for the test. So those kind of things need to be practiced as a part of daily schedule also. Am I right, GB? I mean, would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
अच्छा, इसमें एक फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन है. A student has said and he needs help on that. Please suggest a schedule. Agastya says, please suggest a schedule for those of us who are managing prep with job. Thank you so much.
See, if you're managing prepared job, your schedule is fixed. There's nothing you need to worry about. At least you don't have to worry about what will I do from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I assume that's office time. Okay. And before that and after that, you have to do the same thing. So the only thing different for someone who's working versus someone who's only studying and doing at home, maybe a dropper, is you don't have to worry about the 10 to 5. You need to make sure before and after your office time, you do the same thing. The schedule, you see, the things you have to do not change. The only thing that changes is what is the amount of time you have and what all you can cover. That is the only thing which needs to change. Otherwise, everything else remains the same. Okay? However, if you are working, once you get your CAT admit card, at least on Saturdays and Sundays, make sure you work more on, you definitely work for those 3 hours of the time slot which has been allotted to you. Okay.
Okay. Right. So one common question before I move on to the next question, which we've collected. One common question that I'm seeing in the chat right now is a lot of people are concerned about quant scores. The quant scores not improving. So let's throw some light on that before we move on to the next one.
Sure. Yeah.
So I have a suggestion, GP, on this one. Suppose there are 26, 28 topics in quant, and as you rightly said, no use working on something which you've not done at all completely.
Right.
Right, rather you make the thing stronger what you've done already. I remember something that Bruce Lee I think had said, that I'm not afraid of an opponent who knows 1000 moves. I'm afraid of that opponent who has practiced his move 1000 times. So I
Right.
think this is very relevant here in the sense that you practice your move 1000 times. So you do those 18 chapters or 15 chapters or 20 chapters that you've done, but you try to make find out your strengths in that and practice it such that उसमें से at least easy, moderate, या even between moderate to difficult questions I'll be able to take out, if not difficult ones. Right? So this is just to start with that.
Yeah.
What is your opinion, sir?
No, it's exactly the same. To me, end of the day, please, you need to remember, if we go section by section, what is the 99 percentile in English? Typically about 39, 40 marks. 40 marks means 13 questions. Out of 24 questions, I don't need to worry about the entire stuff. Same thing in DILR. A 99 percentile is typically about 30 marks. In quant, a 99 percentile could be anything from 35 to 40 marks. So when I'm looking at this paper, I'm saying, do I really need to know everything under the sun? The answer is no. All I need to know is sufficient to get let's say, a 50% mark. If I can get 50% marks, I am on the job. I've done what I'm supposed to do. The problem out here is people think percentile and they understand it as percentage. 99 percentile is not 99%, is what I have to keep reminding students all the time because they seem to forget it all the time. 99 percentile is typically 45, 50, 55%. 50% is a very good score in CAT. Please remember that. And which is why the example you gave of Bruce Lee was extremely right. I need to make sure what I know, those 10 things I know. Forget about whether there are 26 topics or 260 topics. If I know 10 topics, I need to know them so well that I'll not. And again, I'll say, you don't have to get stuck to topic. Break into type of question. I can do question of circular races. I'll not do question of, let's say, escalators, which is fine with me.
Which is fine.
So you have to break it down and say, this is the question type I will handle. This is the question type I will leave. There's a question type I need to keep revising. There's a question type I keep doing again and again so that I become good at it. And there's a question type whose logic I don't understand, that's why I'll leave it. Okay? So just stick to your strengths. What you know, do it so many times you will not make a mistake. What you don't know will not matter.
Right. Absolutely. So moving on to the next question. How to conquer self-doubt at this stage or going forward? Because जब increase नहीं हो रहा है, there's one more question which is related to this. I can see the chat. Is what if my scores are fluctuating? So basically, that is moving my confidence on a negative side. So what do I do to conquer this self-doubt?
What do you do to the conquer self-doubt? Just remind yourself that in the past you have done well. And frankly, if you have your doubts, no one can help you. Let me be very honest about it. I cannot motivate you. Maybe Sazil can, but I definitely cannot. I cannot push you to do well. Only you can do it for yourself. Okay? And if you start doubting yourself, then kuch nahi ho sakta. You might as well give up now. Okay? What you are doing is when you're saying, okay, shit, I will probably not do well, you will not do well. If you start with that assumption, I'll not do well, this is what a self-fulfilling prophecy is. We start doubting ourselves and then we act in a way so that it comes true. So frankly, self-doubt, you have to conquer yourself. Remind yourself of what are the things you have done well. Remind yourself of all the times you have been able to get over the hump and do well. And hopefully you'll do well in the paper also. So please don't start with this, please come and motivate me. No one can motivate you. It's your battle. You have to fight. It is your career. It's your life. I'm sorry. That is what you need to understand. You have to take the paper. I will not be there to take the paper for you.
Absolutely. Okay, there is one thing that I can think of that a student can do to conquer self-doubt is look at his best papers or best sections in the mocks that he's written. So if I look at the best two quant, best two verbal, best two DILR, which I have got, right? I think that is a proof enough that I can get that much score at least. And if I get all of them together, is when the magic happens. Now the idea is now the analysis part comes in where you look at what worked for you to get that highest mark in quant in that particular mock and highest in DILR, your highest in that other particular mock, and then bring it all together as a strategy and practice that strategy right now for the next 3-4 mocks before you go for CAT, more than 3-4 mocks maybe. So that is probably that will help you overcome self doubt कि आप कर सकते हो और आपने किया है और थोड़ा मार्क्स एक आध मॉक में if you score, that should be your benchmark, that the lowest mark should not be your benchmark, the highest should be your benchmark. Secondly, if you're looking at the best ones, look at the worst ones also. Now look at what you did wrong in a section where you got bad marks. I think that is a good enough thing. So be like, I think GP ने जो बोला वो perfect है कि be analytical, don't be emotional at this stage, right? Analyze करो. So logic से operate.
One of the things which I want students to remember, if your scores are fluctuating, now they don't fluctuate themselves. It is not that the paper level has changed suddenly. They fluctuate because you have changed your behavior in the paper. So please look at all the papers where your scores have fluctuated. The ones in which you have done well, you behaved in a certain manner. The ones in which you have not done well, you have behaved in a certain manner. Possibly the papers in which you did well, you were relaxed. You were not pressurizing yourself. You were not trying to do well. Okay, you were just looking at the question, what you understood, you answered, what you did not understand, you left it. In the papers in which you did not do well and your scores were low, most probably it was because you were extra cautious. Maybe you are trying to make sure everything comes out to be perfect. Maybe in reading comprehension, you are trying to go back to the passage every time and find out what is the exactly correct answer. In that process, you wasted a lot of time. Okay, so it is your behavior during those 40 minutes of the section which decides how will you do the paper. If your behavior is correct, you will do well. If your behavior is not correct, you will not do well. So please don't worry about the scores or the outcome or the marks. Worry about the process. So the behavior to me during the paper is the process. Focus on the process, the outcome will be fine. You don't focus on the process, you're always worried, गलत तो नहीं हो जाएगा, पक्का गलत होगा. और गलत नहीं भी हुआ तो टाइम इतना बर्बाद कर दोगे कि आगे के सवाल गलत हो जाएंगे. And unfortunately, we'll be meeting again next year for CAT preparation again. Okay.
So GP, you were Krishna to all the students, Arjun. Because when you said three cities karmanye vadi karaste mafaleshu kadachana, and it's a good way to start off.
I mean, that to me that is the only way. Okay, while whatever people might think of it, but to me that is absolute common sense that all of us need to understand. Okay, and again, a couple of days ago, I'm sure many of us would have watched the Afghanistan versus Pakistan match. Afghanistan just focused on the process. They did not let that stupid score overhaul them. They said, okay, this is the way I have to play. These are the overs I have. This is the way I have to bat. They just played to your strength. They just played within their limitations, and they were able to achieve the goal. So the outcome always will be good if you focus on the process. If you don't, then the outcome obviously will going to be poor.
Right, sir. And then I have 3 points that I've mentioned here. Let's just quickly look at this, and we know the gap. We're not going to go into that. It is okay to be scared. It is all right. Overcome. Overcome by practice and analysis. Right?
Yeah.
Visualize why you started off, and you have to get there. That's all. And stay healthy. Healthy is physical, mental health, all of that is important. Right? We all know all this. So let's move on to the next one. How to make strategies to revise each subject at this juncture. So I think we talked about this in the previous questions. But a quick word if there's anything remaining there.
No, essentially, when you're looking at revision, you are looking at revising what you are a bit uncomfortable with. Okay, so through revision, you will end up the day you will be able to improve your comfort and you will be able to get the hang of that of the logic. Okay, so which is why I said don't worry about what you are thorough with or what you don't understand. So revision, just focus on what confuses you and things should be fine. And as I said, one thing I'll still repeat: revision means doing it all over again. Revision does not mean just looking at that question. Yeah.
And then we also talked about revising the strength areas.
Yes.
Right. So I think this sort of summarizes the whole thing. And we did talk about GP did talk about DI में क्या करना है, QA में क्या करना है, right? So yeah, so let's move to the next one. So I've sort of compiled strategies for each of these, and GP, this is what we've been talking about throughout. A part of this we've covered in RT99 also. Part of this we've covered in other sessions. So I'll just quickly take it through this. Take the students through this. Right? So VARC में there's no other strategy apart from practice and persevere, which means you have to keep doing it, keep writing mocks, keep analyzing, keep practicing, and also have patience to wait, because sometimes the score sort of increases and you don't know when that's going to happen. So sometimes you have to wait for it to happen and keep, as GP said, keep following the process, trust in the process, enjoy the process, right? So have patience, reverse engineer the section, right? Try to understand कि आपका score जहां आया जिस भी exam में कहां से आया, how did it come? Did you do something specific? Did you do a certain number of RCs? Were you ignoring certain kind of questions, for example, para jumbles or para summary, and you got them right? Something. So go and analyze the good tests, go and analyze the ones you've done bad, and you will find out what you can do right. Right? Smart work goes long way. अच्छा, consistency और perseverance की बात किया. Daily dose. CL students, please, this is the time where you should take daily dose. Miss ही मत करना, क्योंकि you will end up keeping in touch with all sections every day. That's what
I'll just add, daily dose के भी those questions and sets, the one which you need to revise should become a part of your revision pool.
Right. so that we have to bookmark them wherever you want. You can bookmark the questions and go back to them. That's a great idea. And go on the offensive sometimes and see, basically understand mocks आपके पास है, right? Do some experimentation. Don't always go by one way of doing things that you think is right. Right. So thoda experimentation can just help you to understand that this thing worked for me. So do some experimentation also, play on the from the front foot, right? So that's a great. This is something that I keep saying, solve ERC like quant, ये मेरा अपना तरीका है, because लोग क्या करते हैं कि दे ट्राई टू कंपेयर कि ए अच्छा है या बी अच्छा है, बी अच्छा है या सी अच्छा है. क्वांट में आप ये नहीं करते. क्वांट में आप क्वेश्चन आंसर पे अराइव करते हो and then you look for the options. So at least try to think the question in the mind and के आंसर क्या होना चाहिए, and then look at the option which is matching. So I think that is a good way to go. You may practice this if it works for you. One thing doesn't work for everybody. Acha, and then I'll talk about what GP and GJO have been covering. The B strategy of elimination. Eliminate options. VARC में elimination is a great way to go about it. So remove the broad options, extreme options, alien options, the side track options, and tone mismatch questions. So you can just practice on this कि कैसे eliminate किया जाए. There are many sessions where we've mentioned this, so you may go back and check them, right? So this is about VARC. DILR may I have some pointers. GP, anything that I'm missing out in VARC that you would like to add in case?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fine. In fact, I would have also said the same thing. Just read the passage, uh, go by your understanding, eliminate choices, and move on. Don't go back to the passage to try to find the answer. If you have not got it in the first reading, very, very, very unlikely you will get it again. And again, I'll remind, the questions which you get wrong are the ones which you have taken a lot of effort, lot of time. So don't waste time. Just look at the question, mark the answer, don't understand, go through the choices once again. If within two choices, two or reading of the choices, you don't get the answer, just leave the question and move on.
Right. All right. So let's move on to DILR then. Right here, I think I'll go to the next slide and come back to this one. That makes more sense to me. These are the three strategies, GP, that we used to talk about. So can we quickly take the students through this?
Sure.
Would you like?
Yeah. See, DILR, essentially there were two things we need to look at. Okay. And frankly, we are not looking at either of the strategy. We are looking at the third one, which is a combination. First thing we need to remember, you don't get marks for solving a set completely. Okay. So if there are four questions in the set or five questions in the set, and you do two or three and leave the remaining couple of questions, it does not matter. Had the paper said, if you do all questions in the set correctly, I'll give you 5 bonus marks, I would have considered doing it. But now I would say I get marks for questions, no bonus marks for the set. So I will not worry about completing the set, but I'll look at doing easy questions from each of the set. That is the first thing. Second thing I need to understand is that there are certain sets which I am more comfortable with, and certain I'll be able to handle easily, and some sets which I am not comfortable with or get confused. But I will get to know that only after I spend a couple of minutes on the set. I cannot understand whether this is a doable set or not just because it is an arrangement set. Does not mean I'll do it. No. To me, it is the data, it is the table, the information, and the question and the choices, all of which are important. I will go through all of them, and based on that, I will decide what is my order of attack or sequence in which I'll attempt. So I'll work out my sequence of attempt after going through all the sets. And within each of these sets, first set, I find out of 5, there are 2 questions that are easy. I was wrong in terms of choosing. I'll do only 2 and move on. So I'm not hung up on completing a set. Okay. Remember, I get marks for questions, not for sets. Secondly, as I said, a difficult looking set could have easy questions, and easy looking set could have difficult questions. So don't go by looks, which means spend time, understand the data, look at the information, go through the question and choices, and then decide what you're supposed to do. If you are someone who's typically able to do 3 out of 4 sets, then the order does not really matter to you. But most of us are 1 or 2 set people, and hence it is important for us not to pick up a set which is likely to be difficult. And again, I'll say you will not get it by just skimming through the set. You have to spend those 2.5 minutes by and large to understand whether it is doable or not. Okay. So the combination means choose the set, but within the set, do only the easy questions.
Right. Absolutely. So I'll go back to the previous one and just read it out for you guys because this is self-evident in a way. Skim through the section, understand the question types. You may choose to understand the question types. You may choose to select the sets. Identify and start with easier and familiar set or question. Analyze data carefully, note key information. We know this. Plan your approach and prioritize questions based on time and difficulty. Solve logical reasoning puzzles systematically. We know this. Manage time effectively. Fine. Maintain accuracy by reading questions. Utilize rough work for calculation and organization. Basically, it's about the right, pictorial representation or logical representation that you need to make, right? And review answers if time permits. So these are the generic statements, so to say. Now QA strategy, and QA strategy, GP, again, I have taken this from you only, so I think you are the best person to explain this. Sorry.
Yeah, see, essentially, I strongly believe that when there are choices in front of me, as I said in DILR, it is the question and the choices which give me extra information, and I need to look at all of them. So focus on both all aspects. Most of the time, students just read the question and start solving it without looking at the choices. And even when they have read the question, they don't spend time understanding the question. They say, okay, this is the formula I have to apply. Okay. So you need to focus on what is the question telling you, what is the information given. For example, as in some many times we have given examples also in race to 99. I need to find out, for example, if my answer is going to be multiple of some number. Go to the choices, eliminate the choices. My common ratio has to be greater than 1 or less than 1 in the geometric progression question. Eliminate choices. Okay, and so you need to eliminate choices, you need to work with the choices. And the choices which are left, rather than solving the question, look at verifying. Now, one of the areas which students are very uncomfortable with is algebra. But algebra is very easy if you are working with the choices. Substitute numbers. Okay. So your job in this paper is not to apply mathematics. Yes, apply maths where required. I'm not saying you'll do 15 questions with using Jugaad. All I'm saying is that about 1/3 of the questions can be done by Jugaad, and in the remaining questions you can apply maths or apply Jugaad or a combination of the two and do it faster. And secondly, please remember, in quant, 30 in the 40 minutes which you have, if you have done 13 odd questions, you have done a terrific job. Okay, 35 to 40 is typically 99 percentile. 25 marks will give you 85, will give you 90 plus. Okay, so if I'm looking at a 90 percentile, also I'm looking at only about 1/3 of the paper. So your job is to look at all aspects and then apply. Now, to understand this or to revise this, go through my Jugaad videos. I have Jugaad videos on the YouTube also. They are available in your aspiration account also. Every mock I come out with a video which says which are the questions you should have attempted or should not have attempted. Along with that, in the CD for each CDC, I come out with the Jugaad solutions for those questions, which I think some alternate solution is possible. Same thing I do for DIR also. So I would say for all of you, going through those videos and doing those questions 3-4 times now will be important, because many of you understand Jugaad but you are not able to apply in the paper. There are two reasons. Okay, one, you don't have sufficient practice and revision. Second, you are afraid of applying it. First one, if you practice it sufficient time, the fear of applying Jugaad will also go away. So it is all boiled down to saying, okay, can I do it the same stupid thing again and again and again? Can I revise it regularly so that I am able to apply it in the paper?
Right. Fair. So I think those students who have watched GP Ka Jugaad, CL students, you've already watched it after the CDCs. I'm sure you can completely connect with what he's saying. And that's the way. So let's go on to the next question. I think we talked about revision, so I'm going to sort
Yeah.
of breeze through this, right? Balancing strengths and weaknesses also we've covered. It's important to balance both, and GP said also the one which are in between, right, is what you need to handle. You can actually ignore the weaknesses at this juncture, is what we had sort of summarized, right? Okay, 50 percentile to 90 percentile, Gautam sir, is it possible and how?
See, do you know what is a 50 percentile number in CAT? Let's look at that part. If you look at last year's paper, 50 percentile would
Yes,
have
sir.
been maybe about, okay, you have the number with you. Great.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what's that number for 50 percentile? Let's look at the overall score only. It's at 5 marks. Sorry, 17 marks.
Sorry.
And what is a 90 percentile? 49 marks. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one below, 90 percentile, 49 marks. Okay. So we are talking about a jump of 30 marks only, 10 questions. Forget about 90 percentile. Let's look at 95 percentile last year. Okay. 60 marks. 60 marks is 20 questions. If you attempt only about 25 to 28 questions, let's say 30 questions, even if you get 7, 8 of them wrong, you will still have a 95 percentile, 90 percentile. Okay. So to me, again, I'm saying the problem that I face with most of the students is they talk percentile, they think percentage. Don't think percentage in percentile. Tell yourself, I need, and just forget about percentile. Again, percentile is not in your control. Percentile is something which is beyond your control. Percentile is a function of how everyone else has attempted the paper. Can you decide how the other 3 odd lakh students are going to attempt the paper? The answer is obviously no. You can't decide how the others are going to attempt the paper. The only thing you can decide is how you are going to attempt the paper. So what is in your control is ensuring you attempt questions correctly. You choose the right questions to attempt. You don't waste time. Okay, and hence it is possible. To me, it is not an issue at all. In fact, 17 marks, 6 questions gave you a 50 percentile. How stupid can this paper be? Just think on these lines. Okay, it looks like a huge number. 90 percentile बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है यार. 50 नंबर है, 25% marks है. It is 25% marks that we are talking about. Okay, चलो last year को हम लोग इसको अगर देखते हैं, if we say last year was an aberration, year before last 90 percentile was 57 marks, which is 57 marks is about how much is it be? Half of 57, 28.5% marks. Okay, 30%, if you get 30% marks, you will usually be above 90 percentile. Okay, 30% marks is what you need to get a 90, 92, 93 percentile. So which is I'm saying, just forget percentile. Don't even think percentile. Think marks, think percentage marks. Tell yourself, can I get 33% marks? What is 33% marks? 95 percentile in CAT last year. Okay, so it is easily doable. It is just a question of ensuring you don't waste your time in questions which you don't know. It's just a question of ensuring you keep leaving those questions which you are not comfortable with. Okay, you read the question, you know how to solve, please do it. You read the question, don't know how to solve, leave it. You read the question, you know how to solve, but you're not sure about it, leave it. You think you know, but you're not sure, leave that question. Just apply this simple logic for quant, DIR, and English, and you will not have a, and I can assure you, by and large, be above 90 percentile, could be close to 95 also.
Right. I guess this makes a lot of things clear that it is still possible, guys. It is still possible. Okay, it is possible. So वो वाली बात है ना, जब तक गेम खत्म नहीं हुआ, गेम खत्म नहीं हुआ. So I think that's the punchline for this one, right? So the game is still on. It is on till cat day. It will also be on after the cat day for with other exams like snap and mat zat. The game will be still on, but for now let's focus on the nmat and cat, right? As your date might be, but cat day abhi bhi dur hai. 30 days hai tumhare paas. There's enough time to get where you want to be. ये मार्क्स को देख के प्लान करो कि यू ट्राई टू गेट दैट वन मोर क्वेश्चन पर सेक्शन इन. इट वोंट हैपन एवरी टेस्ट में, नहीं होगा, बट यू ट्राई इन एवरी टेस्ट के वन मोर क्वेश्चन पर सेक्शन I want to get, right? At least that should be your attempt, right? So yeah. So GP sir, इस time पे a lot of people have this college students specifically कि sir exams भी आ रही हैं आसपास या on the same day, क्या करें? How do we manage and what do we focus on? So I think the answer is pretty clear here, but please.
You don't have an option. You have to manage. This is life. Unfortunately, life is not fair. कि अलग अलग नीटली 2 कंपार्टमेंट होते तो बहुत अच्छा था, but unfortunately December is the time when many students will be having exams, can't be held. Fortunately for most of you, it is going to be December, so you can start working on your college exams after CAT. Okay, but if you happen to be unfortunate and your college exams are around the same time, then on a daily basis you have to do a bit of both. It is not a question of which, either or. It is A and B. It is not college or CAT. It is college and CAT. You have to do both. If you flunk in your college, CAT is meaningless. If you top in your college and flunk in CAT, it does not matter again.
Meaningless.
So you have to do both. There is no option. मजबूरी है, काम करो.
So
Don't
ऐसे
look
टाइम
for
पे
easy solutions. There are no easy solutions in life.
सॉरी सो ऐसे टाइम पे सर मैं आई टेल स्टूडेंट्स दिस क्लियर थिंग कि यार इस टाइम पे डोंट ट्राई टू गेट अ गोल्ड मेडल और ट्राई टू गेट टॉप रैंक इन कॉलेज. इस
हाँ,
टाइम पे
बिल्कुल एकदम सही कह रहे हो.
ट्राई करो कि डिस्टिंक्शन मेंटेन हो जाए या कम से कम फर्स्ट क्लास मेंटेन हो जाए. उससे नीचे मत जाना. उतनी मेहनत कर लेना. बाकी कॉलेज एग्जाम उससे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट मेरे हिसाब से नहीं है. frankly focus on cat and as sir said balance both. वो साथ में लेके चल बहुत सारी चीजें बैलेंस करनी है. फर्दर इन लाइफ ऑल्सो you'll be balancing 50 things at a time, family life and health and work and money and all of that, so you'll start learning it right now. ठीक है. So I think another question that is very common, right? ये हमने in a way आंसर किया है, but still study new or revise old. I think the answer is clear. Revise old is what we must do, right, sir? At this stage, I don't think that it makes a lot of sense starting new things which you've not done before. And I think we've said it
Absolutely.
twice before. So, sorry. So, the next one, fluctuating mocks. Again, this is something we covered. One of the students asked this question and we covered. So, fluctuating mocks में क्या करना है? Sir, maybe a word here before we move on.
I have music in my ears.
Now, when you look at, okay, I think we have by and large discussed this. Okay, so the only thing you need to do is the mocks in which you had a low score, just go back to those papers and see what was your behavior like. Were you focused on the process or were you focused on the outcome? And contrast it with the papers or the section in which you had a good score. Okay, so in those papers, when you look at it and you contrast your behavior in the two, you will realize that there's a certain behavior which gives you better scores, and that is the behavior you need to stick to. Okay.
Right, right. सर एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन आया है अभी राइट अवे. सो फ्रॉम दैट क्वेश्चन आई एम पिकिंग अनदर क्वेश्चन that I would like to address also. So the person is asking that like 2019, could we also see a 3 hour cat? So the
इस
answer
टाइम पे
is
कहाँ पे आएगा यार?
नहीं
नहीं
आएगा.
है, नहीं है.
नहीं
अगर
आएगा.
होना होता they would have announced it so far.
Right. But at the same time, I also want to, why I took up this question also was that be ready for some surprises. Yeah. Don't go with the thought के बस मैं set इसी तरह जाऊंगा और यही होने वाला है मेरे साथ, because if that happens then a smaller surprise also would throw you off the track. So go with a mindset के, which is why हमने भी अपने मॉक्स में कुछ वेरिएशंस रखे हैं डिफिकल्टी लेवल्स में, क्वेश्चन टाइप्स में कुछ कुछ वेरिएशंस क्यों होते हैं, दैट यू आर रेडी फॉर द सरप्राइजेस. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, right? Go expecting that there might be a small surprise and it is okay. I think that is where I would like to go with that, right? Okay, let's take the next one. Can I start now? I think this is the same question. Okay, 50 to 90 percentile, is it too late? Can I still do it? Can I start now? Now that's the question. अगर कोई बच्चा start कर दिया है लेकिन actually start नहीं किया है, what should we do? What should we say?
कुछ नहीं, लग जाओ. जब जागे तब सवेरा. So you have only two options: either forget about CAT 23 or start now and start working. So this is the only thing you have. And my suggestion would be, if you are यानी कि कुछ खास काम नहीं किया है, then for the next 30 days just focus on CAT 17 to 22 papers and maybe about 10 CDCs. Okay, not more than that. Okay, that should be good enough.
So you are saying sir PYQs and mocks जिसने शुरू नहीं किया ढंग से, थोड़ा
बिल्कुल.
PYQs और mocks पे focus
And
करें.
here I will say focus on the CDCs, not the prime cats, because for CDCs you have the video solution, you have the Jugaad solution, and you have all kind of things available. It is not because CDCs are better than prime cats, but CDCs ensure you get the solution. You know how you can compare. You have the video solution, and some of them have attempts also. And also, as I said, you have the Jugaad solution and the strategy for the paper also. Everything is given there. So, which is why CDC should be preferred.
So all of you students who are not CL students yet can also get these CDCs that we are talking about, countdown cats, where you can get all of these things. So आप 5 CDCs, 5 mocks या 10 CDCs या 15 CDCs का पैक भी ले सकते हो if you are still missing out on your prep, right? That is still there on offer. and there is still time to do all these things. And मैंने नीचे थोड़ा summary लिख दिया है, previous year question papers and mocks plus analysis of those.
And Sadil, specifically when you think previous year question, priority 1 has to be CAT 17 to 22 papers.
Right, let me write it down, sir. 2017 to 2022, right?
Yeah.
So I think I have one more question that I found interesting that Yatin has been asking again and again. We can take it here. Sir, I'm not able to finish the full syllabus due to some personal reasons. Can you suggest me some easy topics? And can you tell me
कौन सा
what is
syllabus है
sufficient?
CAT?
Sufficient
CAT
and
में syllabus
easy.
कहाँ पे है ये बताओ मुझे पहले. What is the syllabus for VRC or DILR for that matter? There is no syllabus. So I don't know कौन सा syllabus खत्म कर दें in VRC and DILR. Quant is the only section which has a semblance of syllabus. Okay. But even in quant, out of the 22 questions, you'll find 6-7 questions, or not 6-7, at least 4-5 questions will be there, which do not belong to any specific topic, and you can just solve them by common sense. Okay. Okay. However, from a quant perspective, by and large, between arithmetic and algebra, out of 22, you'll get 15, 16, maybe even 17 questions. So about 75% of the paper will come from there. So that is what you could look at doing. Okay. So don't worry about syllabus. Now again, if you have to do something, I'll say pick up the old paper, look at question types and work on them. These are the question types I can handle. These are the question types I can't. And just focus on the one which you can handle or which you can improve upon. What you don't understand or the logic of which is not clear to you, those are the topics or the areas or the question types which you have to leave. Same thing for DILR also. English, read the passage, mark whatever answer may seem logical to you. If you don't understand, leave it. Reading the passage, don't try to remember everything. Don't try to understand each and every line. As long as you understand broadly what the passage is talking about, broad structure of the passage, broad understanding of the passage, you will be able to answer 2 out of 4 or 3 out of 4 questions, if not more.
Yeah. Right. Fair enough. So some do's and don'ts. So now the questions, more or less, we've covered a lot of them, and I'm sure, guys, a lot of you have some questions which we are not able to take up directly. Of course, we've spent a good 45, 47 minutes now. I want to come to some points which are important here, and GP sir, I would love if you could also add some other do's and don'ts you could think of. So first is analyze करना सबसे important है. Take mocks, analyze them. That is important. Someone asked in the chat also, I remember, that how much time, what is the ideal analysis time that I should put in. My formula is jitna mock mein gaya hai time, 2 hours, 1.5 to 2 times of that should go into analysis and solving. Okay, so that is my take on that. GP sir, what do you say? 2 times the amount?
उतना चाहिए होता है. A 2-hour paper will take at least 3, maybe 4 hours for analysis.
Right. Read articles. So wherever, online, offline, articles, essays, newspaper, whatever, keep reading a lot. मेरा कहना ये है कि 40 to 50 minutes a day, apart from your RC solving, that you do in your mock, sectionals, daily dose, whatever, उसके अलावा एक 40, 45, 50 minutes का reading रखो और varied reading रखो, just for the heck of it, for keeping in touch with it. That's it, right? Take break once in a while. राइट, दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट गाइस. ये 30 डेज में पैनिक नहीं करना है, एंग्शियस नहीं होना है, बर्नआउट नहीं होना है, ये सारे वर्ड्स को साइड पे रखना है, पॉजिटिव रहना है. दैट्स ऑल यू हैव टू डू, एंड दैट यू हैव टू डू बाय योरसेल्फ. फाइंड योर वे टू डू, राइट. टेक अ ब्रेक. आई डोंट नो, प्ले पबजी, watch Netflix, do whatever shit that you want to do, but keep yourself sane and focused, on track. Don't give up. So I think that is the do's. I also want to add one do's which is not written here is थोड़ा mental math, थोड़ा calculation अपने हिसाब से practice करते रहो. कुछ नहीं तो tables करते रहो. That will just keep you, again, like reading is important. I think mental maths. GP sir, what do you say about that? Any suggestions, approximations, mental calculations?
My only worry is if you start doing it now and you are not able to do it well, it will become a problem. Okay, so if
Fair
you
enough.
can do it, if you can't, don't do it. But coming back to what you said, do's and don'ts में मेरे को एक 2-3 चीजें don't मैं पक्का बोलूंगा. One is stay away from social media. Social media is full of people who don't have any knowledge and ज्ञान बांटते हैं, तुम लोग उससे बहक जाते हो. A couple of days ago, a student called me and said, "Sir, ये वाले क्वेश्चन है, उनसे बात कर रहा था, So he said, I left this question. मैं कहा क्यों? सर वो छोटा क्वेश्चन था ना, मेरे को बताया गया कि छोटे क्वेश्चन मुश्किल होते हैं. मैं कहा, how do you know that without reading the question? And that stupid question was an easy question. So please stay away from all those gyani people. Believe in yourself. Yes, social media is full of people who will give you gyan without making sense. There are very few people out there. So don't get carried away by what all people are saying. Okay, that is first thing. Secondly, stay away from negativity, which means people around you जो बोलते हैं तुमसे ना हो पाएगा. भैया तुमसे हो जाएगा. करो कोशिश, लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई, हो जाएगा. उनसे so don't get carried away by people who are around you and telling you they'll not be able to do well. Okay, so just stick to the basics is all I'll say. What you should do, you should stick to the basics and just continue with your preparation.
So absolutely bang on, sir. 3 days back, some student came to me and said, मेरा senior बोला कि कैट बहुत difficult है. मैं बोला वो senior ने क्रैक किया है क्या? Do you know that first of all? So कौन बोल रहा है? सोशल मीडिया पे पता नहीं चल रहा है कौन बोल रहा है. Anyone can say any shit and get away with
नहीं,
it.
उसमें एक और चीज है रवि, सॉरी सजील. सोशल मीडिया पे there are few people who have cracked these papers, but वो दिखाना चाहते हैं हम कितने महान हैं. तो बोलते हैं बहुत मुश्किल पेपर था, मैंने क्लियर किया, मैं महान हूं. हम लोग को मालूम है पेपर इज नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट. वी मेक इट डिफिकल्ट by doing all kind of stupid things in the paper, and which is why I said, well, focus on the process. What is the process? I know how to solve, I'll answer. The process says I don't know how to solve, I should leave it. So focus on the process, सब ठीक हो जाता है. And stay away from all these ज्ञानी people, including us. Focus on yourself, on your strengths, and be positive about yourself. याद करो यार, तुम उतने बेवकूफ नहीं हो, डफर नहीं हो. You have done well in your past. You will do well this time also.
Right, sir. On that note, stop practicing. Don't stop practicing your strength areas is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Right. So don't stop practicing ever. Right. So people would just read this and say, I'll stop practicing strength areas. Don't do that. Okay. A very interesting thing that I want to just reiterate that I've said in couple of sessions before as well. For all of those of you who have this thought कि मेरे को कितना percentile चाहिए या मुझे टॉप 20 स्कूल्स में जाने के लिए 99 ही चाहिए. जीपी सर, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु हैव दिस नोशन कि मुझे अगर आई एम ABCL तो मिलेगा ही नहीं बिकॉज उसमें इतना ही चाहिए. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है.
Tazeel, every year I have a couple of students with me who get 89, 90, 91 percentile in CAT and get a call from IMM. The Bad general category, typically girls, humanities, good academic track record. Okay. In IIM Bangalore, you can get a call at 97, 96 percentile also if you have a 3-year work experience. And so each of these have a
Different.
slightly different criteria.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't think if you're getting an Ahmedabad call, you'll get it from others. Okay, so each institute works its own way. Okay, and which is what the new profiler has tried to do. Based on the latest criteria, we have again come out with the profiler. Profiler typically gets updated. Is it 100% accurate? No, it is not. Nothing can be 100% accurate, but it is fairly accurate. In the past, we have by and large been able to predict with a fair amount of accuracy.
Right.
Okay,
So,
Ashish Verma is saying my profiler says 90 percentile for Ahmedabad. Ashish, are you a humanities, fashion, hotel kind of a student with a good academic track record? If yes, then yes, it is correct because in the past it has happened. Okay. Okay.
Right.
And those of you as okay, please don't shoot a question. मेरा background ये है, मेरे को percentile बताओ, मैं नहीं बता सकता.
Profilizer बताएगा. Yes, sir.
Profilizer डाला है इसीलिए. So please go and check it there.
Okay. So, Anvi, you can go to the. So, if you're not a student of CL, students of CL can find MBA Profilizer, B School Profilizer right in their ASPI account, which is the student portal. Those of you who are not the students, you can find it on the website also. So, please go to the website, look for the B School Profilizer, MBA Profilizer. The word is Profilizer. Look at the spelling and go for it. And find it, and you can find it out. So exactly this person, for example, this is the profile that I've mentioned here. That person, for example, for an IIM Lucknow needs somewhere around a 98 percentile or 99, 98.5 or 99 percentile. So this is what the profilizer will tell you कि आपको कौन से बी स्कूल के लिए कितना परसेंटाइल लगेगा as per your profile. So this is a very good information that you can check out. Okay, so please go for it. Right. So Anvi, Dev, all of your answers will be answered when you go to the profilizer. So moving on from that, someone in the chat also asked, okay, sir, what are the resources to use? राइट, PYQs कहाँ मिलेंगे, रिसोर्सेज कहाँ मिलेंगे, डेली डोज कहाँ मिलेगा, ये सारे क्वेश्चंस मैंने देखे हैं, right? So you can find this is the student portal of career launcher, right? And you can find a lot of things here. So tests है जिसके अंदर टॉपिक टेस्ट, let's say मुझे परसेंटेज अच्छा हो रहा है, बट उसके एप्लीकेशन SICMA में ठीक नहीं है, मुझे ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस चाहिए, so there's a topic test for that. There's daily dose there, you can see it right here. So you have a lot of resources available. I've listed those resources here, if you can see it, right? Whether it is resources, testing, improvement, other perks, whatever you want is there. So yeah, go ahead and look for it, right? uh, if you seek for it, you shall find it, right? So वो वाला इधर इसमें वर्क करेगा. Before sir we end the session, before I go to this particular slide and tell the students that they can reach out to us in different ways. This is for example the Telegram ka QR code. So in case you want such information to be shared with you, join this CAT 23 MBA 23 ka Telegram group for more information, more notifications. But sir, before we end this session, some last two words, two sentences from you.
Nothing else. Just सब बोल दिया है, खाली अपने भरोसा रखो और काम करो. Okay, just get down to work. Stay away from negative people and get down to work is all I would say.
हाँ, और कैट पास नहीं करना है, कैट को फोड़ना है. सो गो विद दैट एटीट्यूड एंड यू विल डू इट.
And कैट
Right?
फोड़ने का मतलब 50% मार्क्स होता है. I'm again
Yes.
it is not 99% marks, it's 50% marks is कैट फोड़ दिया.
99.5% आ जाएगा उस पे. Yes. So thank you guys. Let's make it happen. We both, Gautam sir and I, GP sir and I, wish you all the best for the upcoming CAT.
Yeah. So all the best and good night.
So we will see them on the D-7 day also.
Sure.
7 days to CAT पे वापस मिलेंगे.
Yes, we will.
Same place.